Topic again.
The topic is a problem, well stated, is halfway to solving the problem. So that's like the overall theme.
Problem well stated. Ay, mamas.
Is a problem half solved?
Problem well stated is a problem half solved.
Right.
Okay.
So
there are a lot of fucking problems that we ought to talk about.
That's what I mean.
A lot of problems.
That's what I'm saying. Are we rolling?
Yeah, we're rolling, man. We're rolling. Cheers.
Right. Cheers. Cheers. Welcome, everyone. We got episode 2 now of our MPPP, Martin Pigeon Performance Podcast, PP tripled, whatever that means.
PP.
And today, what we're going to be talking about, we're going to be talking about a couple different kind of conversation pieces, but the overall theme, I saw a quote recently that stated, a problem well stated is a problem halfway solved. And from us doing this, being in this building now for about 7 months, there's definitely some problems and issues that we see in the world of player development, in the world of being a human being development.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be not scattered, but we're going to cover definitely a range of topics. So, Bub, feel free, take us away. I think each of us should share 1 to 3.
1 to 3.
1 to 3 huge problems, issues that we have seen and really encountered over the last, call it 7 months that we've been in here.
On the mental performance side of things, the biggest problem I see is that guys right now, because of their external environments and what they have access to as far as social media goes, and just how they spend their time outside of here, they have a really hard time paying attention long enough to actually get better during sessions. And that is probably the biggest problem that I see that bothers me because of what I'm passionate about.
How do you see that show up? So you're seeing that they aren't able to pay attention, but what are some of the, is it like a character thing? Like it from the minute you meet them? Or are there things that are going on as they kind of move about the facility? Or what do you see?
Just observing how they practice. Just observing how they go about their business. It seems as if they obviously want to be here. They obviously want to get better at the game. But it seems like worrying and focusing about the little things has, I don't want to say disappeared, but isn't that important anymore. So I think that a lot of things slip through the cracks as far as focused repetitions go, as far as attention to detail goes, as far as even being a good teammate goes. I think that it's become so transactional in the sense of it's all about me that a lot of guys don't even pay attention to their guys that they're training with anymore, or their teammates, or their people. That's concerning to me too. So, but I think that is caused by just an inability to hold their attention long enough to actually just focus on the present moment.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's my first biggest problem that I see often.
Well, let's dive into it.
Yeah.
So what do you think? So that's the issue. Is it something, because you're a little bit closer than age to this kind of age,
Sure.
the majority of the age group that we train, which is like high schoolish guys, high school, college guys.
Yeah.
Is it something that you felt you had to deal with when you were going through it? Is it or is it something that you have seen even more so even in the last couple of years as well?
Both.
Or both, yeah.
Both. I experienced it as a player, but I don't know. I also grew up in a time, the first 11 years of my life was without social media. So I had this foundation of an ability to just be a kid, I was a kid and I was pure and innocent and I cared about people. I had already established 11 years worth of an ability to pay attention, And then social media entered my life and just unlimited access to the internet and just all these things entered my life at around 12. And when that happened, I just noticed over time, even as I got into college, my ability to really, really focus on the little things slowly got worse.
What are some of the little things that you, like if you could go back and focus on some of those, quote, little things more, what would they be?
That's a good question. I think even something like we have those mental performance questions upstairs. Something as small as let me take 5 minutes before I train to just center myself, to just focus myself. I think that the importance of that has gone away. And, I don't fault the kids for that. I think it's a cultural thing, They have so much going on that they then enter the building, not just here, but whatever building they enter or whatever arena, even at practice, at the field. they have so much going on that there's this concept called attention residue that Cal Newport talks about.
Say the term again?
Attention residue.
Okay.
Cal Newport talks about it in Deep Work, that book that you were showing me yesterday.
Yeah.
And then Salil Bloom, I think I mispronounced his name, but he talks about it in The 5 Types of Wealth, that book that Dylan was talking about with us. And basically what it means is if you don't, clear these past experiences out of you before you enter a new experience, then you're just all over the place, just all scattered. And these kids, before they enter this building and the practice and all that stuff, they don't ever take the time to just get their past experiences out of them so that way they can be present for their new experiences. And those are the little things that I'm talking about, man. It's sad. So I guess to answer the second part of your question, yes, I've experienced it, and I also think it's gotten worse over time since I was done playing.
Because of probably the amount that they, like, the ease of access of so much of it?
Yeah, and that's a deep question. I think that's a big part of it, is just how easy it is to access it, but I also don't think people are teaching them these things, you know? And it's not anybody's fault, I guess. It's a kind of a societal issue rather than just an athlete issue, you know what I mean? But yeah, I don't think people are teaching them the importance of those things. And I think that us as adults and coaches, we're even a byproduct of this stuff now. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And we're not leading these kids in the right direction to be able to discern between what's important and what's not, as far as attention to detail goes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, I mean, I could talk about that stuff all day. I geek out on that, but.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting, and I know, sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, something that you shared with me, I don't know where you got the PEP from thing, but the pre-engagement prep, right, PEP?
Yep.
It's something that I have in my own, like, kind of Reeves way. I've been like, okay, like, I need to take a second from even, just like my day-to-day of where it's coming in and kind of wearing my coaching hat, and then it's, okay, I got to go put on kind of like my business hat, and then I got to go in and be, boyfriend hat, and like so on and so forth.
Right.
Or like son hat when I'm with my parents, and it's tough, even with just the different roles that we play. And then I think going into what you were saying too, with plus adding in so much just input from so many other external sources that it's not even your necessarily like direct experience. It's like, all right, like,
Yes.
wow, it's a lot for these guys to take in. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying too. Like, we experience it also.
Yeah, for sure.
But what about you what about some of the other issues that you see and some of the problems you might want to talk about?
Yeah, so I'll stay, quote, in like kind of baseball pitching lane. I think just where I can speak into with the most confidence, in, I should say. I think the biggest one is guys just don't have a plan. Like there's no actionable action steps in most of their, before they come in to train with us, of what they need to do. Not only in terms of the broader picture of, okay, for these next 3 months, this is kind of, quote, the season that I'm in. This is what I need to be focusing on. And this is how I need to be focusing on it. And this is how I can kind of bob and weave, kind of trying different things or letting myself explore into that. But I mean, even as simple as, when we have an athlete come in to do an eval, and I really like to just purely kind of go into observe mode as best as I can. When they walk in, it's like, hey, if you had this place to yourself, what tunes are you putting on? What's your, bands? Like, what's your dynamic warm-up look like? Do you want to do plyos? Do you want to go play catch outside? Do you want to, and it's almost, because they've been told so much of like, this is your routine of like what you need to do, or on the flip side of that, where there is no actual guidance at all. They're at these big crossroads where they either follow it like a robot and it's not really even theirs, and going into what you're saying, they're kind of just like, they're not actually engaged into doing it. It's just kind of something that they have to do. And on the other side, it's like bright-eyed, it's like, wait a second, like you're not gonna tell me exactly what I need to do, like every second that I'm in this facility today, like how do I operate that? And so I think that's a kind of a zoomed in look that we would see like on an eval setting that definitely shows into the deeper problem that they just don't have a true plan. And again, it starts with a problem, well stated as a problem halfway solved. They don't know what their problems are.
Right.
It's like, hey, like what makes you stand out as a pitcher? Usually they can kind of answer that question, but when I'm asking them, like, what are you struggling with? And it's like, oh, I need to get my mechanics better. It's like, okay, what does that mean?
Right.
It's like, well, here's the one that it's like, I'm flying open. It's like, okay, well, one, what does that mean? And two, like, why? And so I think working down some of those problems and overall, the overall principle is they need a better action step filled plan for them, day by day, like week by week, and then month by month. And, as you coach, you can zoom out and be able to say, like, okay, like this year, this is going to be kind of this focus. And then this year, and, we talked about that a little bit on the last podcast. But I would say if there is like a one, quote, problem that I would love that I believe that we're really solving in here is giving guys a plan.
Right.
It's like, step one, here's what you need to be doing, by the way.
Right.
And here's why. And here's the areas that I also want you to become autonomous and, like, make it your own. Like, ask some questions, try things, explore a little bit. There's guardrails, but I want you to explore along this kind of path as well.
Yeah, and I think that's another problem that I see a lot is exactly what you just said, is that these kids, these players rather, are not encouraged by their coaches to have autonomy. And I think that because of that, they're really confused. They don't have a plan, number one, like you said, and then number two, they're not encouraged to be free within that plan.
Yeah.
So they don't have a plan, and then they're also, like you said, performing these instructions robotically.
Right.
And it's like, well, that just creates a bunch of confusion.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what the fuck am I supposed to be doing? Like, what am I supposed to be doing right now? And then I think that also plays into what I said earlier about the lack of inability to pay attention. Well, it's like, of course you can't pay attention. You're just confused.
Yeah.
And
you're not even here right now.
Straight up. Like, you're just going through the motions.
Lights are on, nobody's home kind of thing.
Right, you know? And it's not their fault.
Yeah.
So like you were saying, I think that's the importance of having a plan and having a coach who encourages you to experiment and fail and within that plan, like you're saying. Yeah, I mean, we could talk about that for days. But, okay, well, what is it? A problem well stated is a problem half solved? Is that what it is?
Problem half solved, yep.
So how do you complete the problem well stated and fully solve these problems, from your perspective?
Well, it's on our kind of packet that we hand out to athletes in terms of the process, kind of like expectations that you're going to get when you train with us.
Yeah.
And it's assess, plan, coach, reassess.
Yeah.
You have to find the problem and you got to state the problem,
right.
Whatever that is. If it's something in regards to pitch design or movement patterns, or it's a strength issue, or it's go down the list, state the problem.
Right.
Cool. Well, let's plan for it.
Yeah.
Where are you at in this season of your life and your career? Are you a 13-year-old that's kind of just getting rocking and rolling, wanting to do this? Or are you 18 and you're throwing 82 and you got to fight for your life now and you really want to go play college baseball?
Right.
So I think one is planning and meeting an athlete where they are and really like the time factor, like how much time do we have to attack the problems. And then the fun part for us is the coaching side, right? And then it's like, okay, let's go coach and let's go try things and let's let them also give us some feedback. What are you feeling? Hey, like, what do you think about this? So on and so forth, allowing them to become confident in themselves. And then four is, reassess. And truthfully, with how we run things in here, we're almost reassessing. It's almost like every throw. They don't, basically no throws unless they're outside playing catch don't have a radar gun. So you're able to measure everything at all times. And so, and then obviously you can reassess every 4 to 6 weeks of movement patterns, or if you're working on, pitch shape and so on and so forth, or command of something, you can really go in. It's like, okay, like we're going to see where we're at today on this kind of specific thing. But I think it's those 4 things, which is, assess, plan, coach, reassess. And then you just kind of wash, rinse, repeat it's really the lifetime of your career. Yeah.
What about some of the systematic problems that you see within the structure of how baseball, the current state of baseball on the youth side of things?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's starting to get a little bit beat a dead horse saying, but guys are just playing too many games and they aren't actually developing. And when they are playing games, it's just bananas to me that It's like, hey, I had probably 5 or 6 athletes text me yesterday. A lot of them are throwing like Tuesdays and Thursdays in games right now. Today's Friday as we're shooting this, and so a lot of guys text me yesterday. I was like, hey, like, we had 5 of them that like threw phenomenal. It was like 2 punches an inning, like great outings. I'm feeling great, all things. It's like, hey, did you get video? No, nobody had video. Okay. Did anybody have a radar gun? No, nobody had a radar gun. It's like, okay, well that's fantastic, but what? You could have gotten lucky, to be completely honest. Right. Like with the Mariners, we would get what was called our shove score. And it was pretty divided in terms of a process score and an outcome score. And, if I were to go pitch in a rookie ball game, my outcome score would probably be pretty high, just because like when I was playing, obviously I could pitch at a high level. I should be able to get rookie ball hitters out pretty easily. But that doesn't mean that my process score, that it would play well in the big leagues, right? And so for these guys, it's tough. It's obviously not like they're running a TrackMan or flight scope, something that has data to really objectively, kind of talk about each pitch. But you can do a decent job of it. Like you can start to put some grades. Like you could make it your own if you wanted to. But there's no score. It's like, I went and treated myself to go play golf yesterday, and it's like, if I went out and played golf and didn't keep score, how do I know? Like, I got a general feel. It's like, yeah, I played pretty good today. But it's like, how many 3-putts did I have? How many greens in regulation did I have? How many fairways did I hit? Like, you don't know what you struggled with, what you did well, what, in your next range session, in your next time coming in the facility. It's like, hey, like, how was it? Like, what do we really need to work on? And so I would say that's another, that is paralleling that on the action step side, which is they're going and making playing in these games and quote, developing, but there's no measure. Like, what do you mean? Like, you don't actually know. Right. Like, truly actually know for a level of where most of these kids want to play, which is, big boy college baseball. I would say majority guys aren't trying to go play at, Timbuktu University. Like, they want to go play at a FSU or a Florida, like they want to go play at a big boy school. And so you got to make sure that if those are your goals, that we are following the path and the plan to at least know if we're headed in that direction, not just, I threw well. It's like, okay, so did 500 other kids this weekend, but you don't know how that really played out.
And then tie that back into playing too many games.
Right, so because they get caught up trying to, quote, play all these games and, quote, get recruited, and that's, it's important. Like, you have to go pitch in front of hitters, like throwing a bullpen in here to the strike zone or, like, the command trainer, the TrackMan on. It's so helpful. Like, you have to develop your stuff, and then you have to go do this thing. Like, you got to put time on the range, and then you got to go play 18 holes. Like, you need both. However, when they are going to go play the games, or they are, going to express what they've been working on, they have to be able to have that objective way. And just playing games over and over again, even if you're getting success, doesn't actually mean that you're getting better. And that's where it goes into, having a radar gun up, tracking OOs, 1-1s, tracking strikeouts to walks. Like, those are super easy things that can tell a pretty good story as to where you're at in, like, that process of developing yourself as a pitcher.
So then is the problem, okay, so let me ask you this. Why do you think people are playing too many games? Is it because they feel incentivized to do so? Or is it because somebody's telling them that's what they have to do?
Well, put it this way. If we didn't exist, what would our 60-plus athletes be doing to, like, train for pitching right now?
Probably getting some type of pitching lessons,
or like just trying to do it on their own from, probably watching an Instagram video or whatever it is. But it's not, they're not getting assessed. They don't have TrackMan data. Like, they don't really know.
Right.
And so I think a lot of it just comes from, if there isn't a place for you to develop, it is kind of left on your own, and that's probably the next best option in a sense from that perspective. Like, there's no, what else are you going to do? You can either play games, or you can, go throw at some random field, like trying to develop yourself. And I'm not not against that.
Right.
However, I would definitely say if you haven't lived the experience of playing college baseball, of having success in college baseball and playing pro ball, like, you haven't had at least been relatively close to experiencing that, you can't really make that decision like, wait a second, like, this is not the best, most useful piece of my time, which I would say is something that can be super overlooked as well. It's that junior summer for you as a high school pitcher, it's coming. and if you aren't prepared to throw, going into our last podcast, 85 plus miles an hour, and if you're a righty, probably more like 88 if you want to go play some type of big boy Division I, higher level Division II baseball, like that junior summer is going to come and go.
Yeah.
And if you aren't preparing for it, it's going to be tough, not impossible, it's going to be tough for you to get recruited and to be able to go to that school that you really want to out of high school. And again, there's plenty of different paths, and you don't have to do it that way. However, it's what do the kids, like, what do these athletes want? That's what they want.
Right.
They want to go out of the gate to a school that they are going to, at least think that they're going to enjoy.
So let me ask you this then, because this is something we talk about a lot. I think, and this is just a hypothesis, I'm sure a lot of people play as many games as they're playing because they think it's going to get them recruited. Is there another way? Is there a better way? The answer is obviously yes. But what is another way? What is a better way of doing that to be able to maximize long-term health, number one, and then long-term performance?
Yeah. On the recruiting side?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you still get recruited without playing a bajillion games?
Yeah.
And how does that look?
So, okay, yeah. So, one, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, two, how does that look? One, can you give me, narrow it down, like give me an age, like a sophomore, junior in high school?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Even freshman, I'd say.
okay, one is you got to see where you're at.
Yeah.
If, again, I'll beat a dead horse again, but if you aren't throwing 85-ish plus miles an hour, you're probably better off saving that time, money, effort, energy, so on and so forth, and just go train. Like all of those hours, I mean, if you were to add up the travel and getting ready for a game, and then, warm up and playing a game, and then post, and you got to go get food, and then the hotel, and the check-in, and like all of the things, I mean, that is a obnoxious amount of time when you add it up over a summer.
And money.
Exactly.
And money.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So imagine if you had that time back to train, like to actually train, where it's a really scripted throwing program, lifting program, pre-throw, post-throw, mobility work, everything that what you actually need with action steps. You would have all that time back and and then some to also go lean into what some of the things that you're saying, to also work on, on the mental side of things, or being a human being. So what does that look like? Say you're that guy that isn't the 85 plus. One, you need a plan. You need to have somebody write you a throwing and training program based upon where your needs are. Whether it's on the mechanical side of things, whether it's on the overall just like workload, I feel like so often, especially with some of our high school kids that care, it's like, hey, like what have you been doing? They're coming in for an eval. It's like, what have you been doing the last 2, 3, 4 weeks of like throwing? And they've been, like throwing on their own, they're built up. It's like, well, I long toss like 4 times a week. And I'm like, what? Like 4 times, I would feel terrible. Like even at my peak of playing, I'd feel terrible if I was stretching out 4 times a week, like really long. So, one is the education side. So that would be, what's the process for getting recruited? One is educate as to what you need to be doing to get recruited, which is be in a place physically to be able to express what you're doing. So that's step one. And then two is what's beautiful about where the game of baseball is in technology and social media, while there's plenty of things that we could say negative side, there are, there's plenty of positives as well. And one of them is that Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, is such a powerful tool in regards to baseball training, and even Instagram and just connections, to be honest. It totally can be. And the power of, look at Garrick, or look at Landon Johnston, or Mael, like some of the guys that worked with Zach at Cross Bros, when they came in here and threw a pen, none of those schools they didn't know who they were. Some of our athletes didn't even know those schools. However, with throwing a quality bullpen on TrackMan with good video and lighting and a catcher, and then those schools following up and making sure that, when the lights come on, that an athlete isn't going to just, for lack of a better term, like shit down their leg. Like, they're not going to have the inability to pitch to a hitter in a game and so on and so forth. You're good to go. The first thing, when we had an athlete in here that is a higher level high school guy, that was pretty hard, and I was wanting him to go to a big boy school, and started trying to start that conversation. And as soon as I sent them kind of some of his info. I sent a video of him just like throwing basically one pitch with TrackMan and some of the fastball velo behind it, just like, hey, this is kind of where he is. Immediately was like, hey, just send me the rest of his TrackMan reports. Like whatever bullpen he's thrown in the last month-ish, send them to us. That's the first thing. And then from there, then they can have they're not going to go waste their time and energy where it's backed up. It's like, okay, this is his stuff. His stuff is good, objectively good. It would play at this level of baseball. And then it's, hey, now let's go watch him in game and go watch his demeanor and talk with the parents and just get a feel for where the athlete is. So that, I mean, long-winded answer of no, you don't have to play all these games. Two, really what you need access into to be able to get yourself recruited is have good stuff. Like first and foremost, be able to express the thing that you're trying to do at a high level, and then be able to showcase that through an objective way with TrackMan, with having good video with a catcher and so on and so forth. And then when it's time to, because there is a time 100% to go pitch in a game, that's the whole point of this whole thing, to go be good in a game, then go do that. But also do it strategically, and also know that, say you're a guy that's working on a curveball and it's kind of been and you're XYZ of command of it. It's like, hey, also express to your coaches, and even the scouts, if they have good relationships with the coaches, like, hey, like, just so you know, he's working on his curveball. It's not his best offering, but we're gonna really work with it on. And then it takes the pressure off of the athlete, where it's like, I've been working, I gotta be so perfect. So that would be the ideal situation. It's communication from everybody involved, and then it's having the true, almost foundation of who you are as a pitcher to then be able to it's like your report card. It's like, here's my TrackMan report. It's like, this is where I'm at, and this is my stuff, and this is how it plays. And, high-level coaches, it's like, okay, I get a feel for it. Can you throw it in the zone, around the zone? Can you throw competitive pitches? Lefties, righties, guy on third, nobody out. How does that work for you? Cool. All right, let's get you on a visit, see if you like it, and go from there. It's really not that complicated.
Yeah, no, it's not. And that's that way of doing it, even when you step out onto something you said there was basically communicate to the coaches that this athlete is working on his curveball today, and even the scouts maybe. This athlete's working on his curveball today, just so you know. I love that approach is still development focused, even though you're in a game setting.
Yeah.
The process score, I assume, from the Mariners would be high if you went out there and executed these breaking balls rather than the result score. Is that my understanding?
So it's an outcome score and a process score. Okay. So the process score might not be high, and that's okay, because you might not be able to execute that pitch in a game. But that's okay.
Right, but you're still focused on the process even though you're in game.
Exactly. So, and you can look at it. Does that make sense? It's okay, well, the usage of it went up because we're working on it. It still sucked, but that's okay. You at least you threw it. You didn't throw it 2% of the time.
So that's a perspective shift for people listening, and coaches and scouts and parents out there, that it's okay to still be development focused even though you are playing games. I think that's another thing that's important to mention.
Yes.
Is that's where you get the feedback to then come back into a place like ours, to then work on those things, to then go back out to the game and work on it again, and to continue to refine that craft over time, eventually leading to athletes getting recruited much easier, not just because their performance on the field gets better, but because they are on TrackMan, we have the data, is that kind of?
Absolutely.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, no, 100%. And it comes from a place of communication with everybody that's involved in this thing, and it's, you have this collaborative effort for the athlete, from whatever their goals are, and then it's just okay, here's where we're at, and this is where we want to go. What is the best course of action, and mapping it out, action steps, day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year, to get to this destination, whether it's big leagues, whether it's Hall of Famer, whether it's I just want to play any level of college baseball. And then you just run that course. And then when it's time to go play in games, you go play in games. Or even, we had guys that just did live at-bats and got signed. To indie ball. They didn't play. They played in college, but, it wasn't like they had to go play anywhere else and then try and get an indie ball. It's, a season removed, and they just did some live ABs, and they liked what they saw. And again, having the TrackMan and video and so on and so forth, it's good to go. I have a buddy of mine. It'd be cool if we could try to get him on, but he didn't even play high school baseball. played at University of Tampa and ended up getting to play with the Brewers in the minor league system. It's like he played zero high school innings. So, you know, if it can happen for one person, like, it doesn't mean that it's a truth that you, like, 100% of the time that you have to do this.
Right. There's a bajillion different types of ways, especially nowadays, to get to whatever destination these athletes want to get to.
Well, and look at all these examples. I love when there's guys in the big leagues. It's like, hey, by the way, he was doing Uber Eats. Like, he wasn't even in minor league ball. Like, he was, like, released at the crib, like, grinding at FedEx. And then it's like, was messing around throwing, and for whatever reason he's 97, 98 now, and is like, now he's signed to a deal, and then he's tearing it up, and then he's in the show, and you're like, what? Like,
he just delivered my package.
Yeah, right. Thanks for bringing the poke dog. Like, congrats on the show. You know what I mean? But it's like, it's that can happen with high school as well. Like, you don't, not that you shouldn't, or not that you can't, or anything. Like, I'm not saying that, but there's an option. And I'll say this too. You also have to have fun. If you aren't enjoying training, like, then don't train. If you want to go play games, go play games. But, like, again, but it's the athlete. It's what are your goals, and then it's our job as a truth teller to say, hey, okay, this, from our experience, like, I was thinking about this the other day. I mean, I've had to have worked with 400, 500 plus pitchers now at this point. Yeah, and it's like, okay, from my experience of being around all of those guys, plus the guys that I haven't coached that I played with and have just been around, like, watching their experience, this is probably the best course of action for you if you want to go do X, Y, Z. Mm-hmm. There's probably another way. You could probably just play games too. And some, you know, I think it's a little bit more needle in a haystack of, like, getting lucky, quote, developing.
Sure.
But I'm sure it's happened.
Yeah.
Not saying that our way is, like, the only answer either, but I would say it's going to give you the best opportunity to go to have the ability to express your skill at the highest level that you possibly could.
Yeah, that's a good way of saying it. Yeah. What are some of the other problems that we ought to bring up and talk about today? Anything that?
Ooh, I got one for you.
Yeah.
Because it's come up kind of a couple times this week. Environment in a training setting.
What do you mean? Like how so?
Okay. Think into some of the things that had happened to us this week, purely on really like where the parents are sitting in the facility. I would love to see your perspective, because I get caught up, like, I notice it. I definitely don't have the almost like energy and bandwidth to really watch it per se.
Yeah.
But noticing when we have, even with a high school athlete, if parent is here, parent's not here. If a parent, like, even with a high school athlete, I would say more so with, like, especially the youth and the middle school athletes. You know, there's chairs to my right, for those of you that can't see, which is our athlete area. There are chairs up front, which is where we do our absolute best to try and leave parents.
Yeah.
At times, as we get caught up in coaching and things going on, parents end up a little bit closer to where our athletes are, which is unfortunately not what we have found to have the best environment. So anyway, I would love to hear your perspective on how you see athletes show up differently, emotionally, physically, like velo, like anything that you've noticed from your perspective when parents are almost like getting involved into a training session.
Yeah, the biggest thing I noticed and that we've talked about is that kids, number one, like, there's a lot of different examples, a lot of manifestations of this problem, but it boils down to the kids are not themselves when their parents are this close to them training. I mean, the chairs are, 10 feet away from us to our right here?
Yeah.
And we're sitting on the main mound where guys are training. You know, this is like their primary training location right here. It's not a massive place, you know, it's like close proximity kind of wherever you are in the building, except for if you're upstairs. But this is also a problem outside of here too. It's not just unique to our facility here. But yeah, kids are not themselves, man. Like, this happened this week. In fact, this happened yesterday. This kid came in and he was very lively. Me and this kid have a great relationship. He's super, super lively. He's very wide-eyed when he comes in here, super excited to work, super excited to train, super excited to learn, most importantly, and experiment. And he's just a very energetic kid. And one of his parents was in here yesterday, very close proximity to him the entire training session. And I just noticed that his ability to pay attention to instruction was way less, because every time he'd make a throw, he's looking over to said parent and making sure that said parent is watching him, number one. And number two, he wants their approval, obviously. I mean, that's all of us with our parents, right? We want their approval, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's not the problem. The problem is that he's looking over to his parent because his parent has been instructing him inside of here and outside of here, meaning his parent is doubling as a coach. That defeats the whole purpose of why people are training with us. As you would say, you don't go to a doctor and then try to tell the doctor what's wrong with you. You're going to be like, hey, what's wrong with me? Like, what do you see? Because I trust that you're the professional.
Yeah.
Ooh. And not saying that we can't be challenged, and we encourage that. You know, we encourage questions from parents, but when they step across that boundary, it really affects the kids in a negative way, man. And I think that's probably one of the biggest things that we see here when parents are involved is the kids don't want to disappoint the parents. And something else is, like, a lot of these parents, not crapping on the parents, a lot of them want their kids to perform all the time.
Yeah.
And they don't leave room for failure. And the energetic kid, for example, he's doing a drill wrong and we're working on stuff, and you can tell that he's affected because he knows that when he leaves here, his parent is going to get on him for not doing a great job. And that's the whole point of that kid being in here, is to not do it. Like, you don't have to do a great job here. You're not supposed to show up in any capacity. You're here to learn and get better, and you do that by failing. And I think that, you know, every time he makes a throw and he looks at mom or dad and he leaves here, he carries that with him, you know, and that's not just that one kid, that's all these kids.
Yeah, and there's the unicorns where it's like,
sure,
when the parents are in, it's like kid's the same, or even ticks it up a little bit, like they're happy that they're watching,
right.
and you know, we want them to be a part of it, in a sense. Like, we want to share in the success. It's a team effort. Like, they are, you know, there's so many sacrifices that they make. However, you know, what you said about with the doctor thing, it's like, yes, if you trust us, you trust us. Like,
right.
We are the professionals.
Sure.
I do this literally every day of my life. Like,
yeah.
I have done nothing else as a work for my entire life.
Right. As an adult.
Yeah, literally.
This is all you've done.
I mean, since I was 13, I have trained 4 to 5 times a week for, you know, that's 10 years, for a decade. And anyway, so, but with that being said, and I like to flip it to on the other side of, like, with the parents, like, hey, this is like your kid being in like a meeting, like a very intense, you know, meeting with their boss. Like, that's not the actual feel and environment,
sure.
But to kind of make it that way, just to give some type of perspective. And then it's, would you want your kid to, like, sit there and be almost like taking notes on you throughout this meeting and your mannerisms and this, and you should have said this and could have been, you know, this way, that, like, you're gonna stumble, like, oh, you said too many times, or whatever it is, right? It's,
right.
You're gonna like, it's okay.
Right.
It's okay. And what we're asking them to do, and what they are trying to do, is extremely tough. Go watch Big League Game. Guys yip stuff and backstop it and spike it and and whatever. And they're the best in the world. And,
right.
and they literally do it for a living. And, you know, it's playoff times. They've been doing it for the last, you know, whatever, 6-7 months. Like,
right.
And they're still doing that.
Right.
Because it's hard.
Right.
And so, anyway, I wish maybe something that we could do is, like, let the parents come in and, like, throw. You go do it.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And, like, see what your velo is. And I was joking with another parent the other day. This is a little bit of a detour, but I said, you know, we are so passionate about not having basically every athlete in here not throw in a game back-to-back days.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not working with pro dudes that are in a playoff push, right? Like,
right. The stakes are lower. It's not that important.
Exactly.
Right.
But, you know, I told them, I was like, you come throw a bullpen today. And they're always like, oh, it was only like 25, 30 pitches. I was like, okay, go do your warm-up throws. Go make as many throws as they did. Mm-hmm. And then I want you to go back the next day. And then you go throw another, you know, 1, 2, 3, whatever it is that you're asking them to throw. Like, you tell me how you feel. Right. And so, like, kind of same but different. Like, same thing with the parents in here. It's like, I don't think that they understand how difficult it is.
Yeah.
Because for us, right. that, you know, did it at a high level, it's like, dude, they fail, and I'm like, dude, been there. Way worse, actually.
Right,
Like,
yeah, you're on the right path.
yeah, it's like, we were messing around and throwing a bullpen the other day, and like I threw my first breaking ball, and it's like, it's a 10-ish foot high net, and I like I like almost threw it out of like the tunnel. Like it was horrendous.
Right.
And then it's like, that was bad, and then it's like brings it down, and then it's like money, and it's like so quick. It's I feel like I have to say it so often, and anyway, I'm like long-winded, like kind of detour here, but it's a cool look into I think what the bigger issue is, and it's like, hey, like this is it's really difficult.
Yeah. Yeah.
Straight up, it's not soccer. Like,
right. Yeah.
there's a lot more going on, and it's harder, and so on and so forth. Like, there's a lot going on, and there's going to be a lot of failure.
Right.
Like a lot of failure.
And I think it's important to just say this, that we're not it's not us versus the parents.
Yeah.
That's not what we want at all. That's not what we want. I can't speak for both of us here. I mean, I'm sure I could, but I don't want to. I want to make it clear that it's not us versus parents, because it's not. But, and it's not the parents' fault, but they come in here and I think they've got a bad taste in their mouths from previous pitching lessons, previous coaching, previous experiences. So they're always hesitant to just trust that these coaches know what they're talking about. So I don't fault them for coming in here and trying to coach their kid while we're trying to coach their kid, because they have only had really, really bad experiences with coaches for the most part. I can't say that's a thing that applies to everyone, but for the most part, I would say that's a big part of the issue too, and I don't fault parents for that. However, there's a better way on our end, I would say, to just go about communicating like, hey, we've got them. We've got them.
Yeah. Well, and I think especially when when we're rocking and rolling in here, and if somebody's never been a part of, like not pitching lessons, like actually training for pitching,
right?
It's different, and I think they're also curious.
Sure. Oh my gosh.
And they wanna, like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And we get some questions of parents like, why do you do it this way?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I read all the things over there, and if you want to really learn about it, there's the books that are kind of like the core of why we do things. But yeah, I know that they're also curious. However, it's the same thing. I'll flip it back to a parent at their job and their work. I was always curious, like what my dad did and what my mom did, and I always thought it was super cool when I would when I was younger, and go to work with them, right? Like, they both did stuff that I thought was kind of interesting. And however, for whatever reason, I kind of knew to stay out of the way. My dad had a putting green in his office, and I would putt if I went to lunch, whatever it was that we were doing, and I would I just putt and just kind of watch. And I think that if we've got even a putting green upstairs, but it's go putt and watch, or on the other side of this, for the parents, this is kind of a detour again, but it's go enjoy yourself.
Right.
We got them,
right,
and they got themselves more than you might be willing to admit to.
Yeah.
Is let you guys do a lot for them, and so just leaning in your point, it's not us against parents, but it's when we're doing our thing, let us do our thing,
right,
and let them do their thing,
right.
And go enjoy yourself. It's
right.
beautiful out now, and it's go take a walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoy the sunshine.
Yeah. For real.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or we got to recline. Just go take a nap. Or
Recently, I thought it was cool. One of our parents, freaking got on, what are they, the knee pads, the elbow pads, the helmet, and she went out and rollerbladed around the parking lot here.
So cool.
And it was awesome.
Yeah.
And it was a great training session for her son.
Yeah.
Because he was immersed in this culture. Not his home culture, not outside culture. He was immersed in the experience of the building.
Well, and I think it's cool for the athletes to see their parents do something for themselves. They want to see them.
Oh my gosh.
Mom, you were just rollerblading.
That's
cool.
Yeah, super awesome. Talk about this. What happened? One of our parents. This happened to you, so you'll have to share.
Okay.
One of our parents was asking how to get their son to work harder on outside conditioning and strength and stuff.
This was a cool moment.
Yeah. Share that.
Okay, so I had a dad that was asking me. His son is, honestly, he's a little bit younger than what I would say. I usually get the question of when should we start strength training? But anyway, he was
he's a real big kid.
He's a big kid. Yeah, he needs he just needs to coordinate himself. He is a big kid. But, you know, the dad was asking me, hey, like, how do I get him into this? Like, he's kind of, sort of asking me about it. Like, he wants to keep improving. And, I think he's seen some of the older guys lifting in here. And it's like, that looks kind of cool. Like, how do I do this? So what I told the dad was, you do it. Just like, and it wasn't a knock to him that he was super out of shape or anything like that.
You said do it with him.
Or do it with him. Thank you. Yeah. Just do it with him. Right.
Yeah.
And he said, and he came back, I think it was like a couple weeks later, and he said, it's crazy to see, like, I started doing, push-ups, just like stock core human movements that we should all be able to do. And he's like, he literally just like started doing it with me. Like, no, like I was just like, hey, like I'm gonna go. They have like a room that's kind of turned into like more of like a workout area room. And he's like, he just came, like he knew I was doing it. He just came in there and just started doing it. He's like, one, I feel good. So like, kind of thank you for like nudging me in a sense to do that. I wasn't like telling him that he needed to do it, but that's, again, from my experience, that's where I've seen the best results for the kid to get into it. And then now the athlete as well is like starting to do it. It's like awesome, and he's really enjoying it. And it's, again, another bonding moment. Like, you want to spend time with your kid, like in helping them in this arena of baseball pitching, getting them better at it. It's like, dude, go lift with them. Like, straight up, like if they're stronger than you, like, it's probably not a good place to be. You don't want to do that. So, but anyway, it is, and it's a cool moment. And again, just reiterating, it's not a knock on the parents. You guys.
No, oh my gosh. No.
Yeah, no, not at all. You guys do way harder stuff as a parent, than us.
Right.
Walking them through, an hour, 15 hour, 30 like training session. You got to do hard, tough parent conversations and all, but when it is time for them to come in here, reiterating back into the problem, which is in the environment, like we are, I really believe that we're world class at creating a phenomenal training environment. I'm a huge believer in you can spend 5 minutes on Instagram Baseball World, and there's all of these different facilities and strategies and and there's, the way of doing it this way or this way or this way. And it's like, well, guys get results at the places that are well respected and they do things, quote, right. Like, they get results there and they're healthy and they feel good. There's different ways to skin a cat.
Sure, right.
Right. But one thing that I have found as a constant in my playing journey and even coaching journey is environment is the foundation for all of it. If a kid doesn't feel safe, if they aren't having fun, like, it's either one going to be really short-lived of these games and they're going to just kind of fall out of love with it and follow the process of doing it, because greatness is mundane and you just got to do the same thing over and over and over sometimes, and try to have some fun and make it gamified as you go. But again, environment is super important. So we're, the parents need to allow us and allow their kids to be able to express themselves in the environment that we've created for them, strategically created for them.
Very strategically. Yeah, we've placed a lot of emphasis on that since the beginning of this.
Absolutely, before the doors, before we had the keys to come in here.
Right.
The community side of it, like the support of it, the layout, the structure, the upstairs, the downstairs, it's getting yourself ready to train, down here is training, like so on and so forth. It's a well scripted out, flow of events that happens when you train in here.
Yeah, and even beyond just the flow of events, how we've positioned ourselves to show up for the athletes as a team is very strategic. I mean, very, very, very strategic. So we got them, We got them.
And they got themselves.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
They got themselves.
That's another thing I want to bring up. I don't think these athletes and these kids get the respect that they deserve for, number one, how much they have on their plate. It's insane. Alex and I, Dr. Alex Lee and I were talking about that just the other day, how much they have on their plates. And number two, just how smart they are. Dude, we've got an 11-year-old in here on our youth nights, and he's talking about consciousness at 11 years old.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I'm like, what?
Oh, I wish I was a part of that conversation.
What do you mean consciousness? Like,
I would have just been a fly on the wall for that.
Yeah, when I was 11, I was barefooted in dirt, you know what I mean? Like, I'm playing in the grass, and you're talking about consciousness.
Yeah.
So, anyways, just something else to bring up is just giving these kids credit, too, because they've got so much on their plate. They're playing for 3 teams. They're training with us. They're
going to school for 8 hours and, like, sitting in a desk, too, and they're just, like...
Right.
Yeah.
One of our guys is a freaking part of, like, 6 clubs at school.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
He's legendary. 6 clubs at school.
Yes, he
and he
is.
leads 3 of them. You know, and then he comes in and trains with us. He's on the baseball team. They got workouts like 5 in the morning.
Well, and you want to talk about, we were talking about the PEP, like pre-engagement prep and
Right.
wearing different hats and so on and so forth. So do these kids. I mean, they got to wear a sun hat, they got to wear the athlete hat. It's almost like an athlete even at school hat, maybe an athlete when they're in here hat, and so on and so
Right.
forth. And
Right.
yeah, to honor that for them too it's hard. Again, leaning back into, let's have the parents come through a pulpit. It's like,
Yeah.
it's hard.
Oh my gosh.
It's hard. Like even, I shouldn't say, but like, throwing a baseball 80 plus, 85 plus, 90 plus, like it's a top 1% human thing to do. And I think that can get lost in translation of, how you took every human on the planet. How many people have thrown a baseball 90 plus miles an hour? There's not a lot of arms going up, over the scope of it. And it's, it's hard. It's really challenging.
Yeah.
Like, it's awesome because it is, but it's hard.
Yeah, and it takes a lot. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of failure.
Yeah, and it's a lifestyle as well. Like it
Oh my
really has to
gosh.
be. I mean, you're gonna have the, 6'2" to 6'5" guys that can probably get away with it a little bit of being able to just show up a little bit more than a guy that's, not genetically perfect, probably limb link, so on and so forth, to like throw really hard. But again, you could ask those guys, it's like, hey, like, now let's go throw 93, 95 plus, and that's a whole different animal.
Yeah.
Size, like, regardless, like, that's a different animal. And again, just reiterate, it's super difficult. Super, super, super difficult.
Are there any other problems that you want to talk about as far as systematic problems go?
I got one more.
Yeah.
One more big one.
Go for it.
It's a group of problems that I'm going to lump in as to
I think all of these problems are interconnected, by the way.
100%. And so on the weightlifting side, on the nutrition side, and like my big 3, which
Okay.
are the strength training side, the nutrition side, and the sleep side. I feel like so often when we do that part of our assessment process, and again, I'll leave it into like the 14 and up range, 15 and up specifically. It's like, hey, what have you been doing on the weight room side of things? That one probably is probably the highest average score, where at least they're doing like a something, like they're with the high school team, they're lifting, or they go to EOS and they do something,
Sure.
right? However, the big 2, the sleep and the nutrition for these guys is just horrendous.
Yep.
And I think it's the screen time. I think it's what the screen, like actively being on the screen. I think what it does post being on the screen, how it affects them, all of the different hats that they wear,
Right.
And it really affects, we'll start with sleep, it really affects their sleep.
Oh my gosh.
And it's something that's overlooked. I know we got to get your Oura ring and get your right size for it, but I've been wearing an Oura ring again, and I wear a couple of hats, and it's obviously in demanding to like run a business and so on and so forth, and show up for you as a boss, brother, Jamie, and girlfriend, like all of that. But it holds me accountable, and at least I know where I'm at, and I know when it's time to like, all right, Reese, like. Like yesterday, like you guys were like, you let me be able to kind of have a day to like,
Right.
slept a little bit, like got outside, like hit a reset day.
Right.
And then, but for these guys, it's, hey, what time do you go to bed? What do you think is the answer that you usually get when you're asking them about some of the sleep stuff? Because I would love, even before I put my input, I don't know, we've never really talked about it like this.
I'd say midnight is what I hear a lot.
Yep.
Midnight. The other day, some guy told me 2 a.m.
Wow, like a consistent 2 a.m.?
Not consistent, but I was like, what time did you get to bed? And he was like, I got to bed at 2 a.m. yesterday because I had to study and catch up on papers and, all that stuff. What about you?
I would say like I usually get the 12 to even 1. I'm not
Yeah.
even as a surprised answer. And it's the same thing. It's just I had homework, or I just couldn't fall asleep is the other one that sucks to hear.
Yep. Yep.
It's crazy how many of these kids, I don't think I've told you this either, but like how many kids are taking like a melatonin or a sleep XYZ,
Yeah.
right? And so anyway, just the stating a problem again, the sleep side of things,
Right.
the broader sense recovery side of things, I think gets super overlooked because they have so much on their plate. And they have to get up early because they have workouts at 6 a.m. before high school, and then they got to go sit in class and try not to fall asleep. And then, they want to actually train.
Yeah.
So then they try to come here, or not try, they come here.
Well, they got practice some days too.
Some days they have practice, and then they want to come in and throw and really do their own throwing program and so on. So, it's, sleep, recovery, that whole bucket, I think is something it's a problem, for sure. And making sure that they just have ample time, to be honest, to just do it. And then you can almost get better at the skill of sleeping and recovering and what that really looks like. And then paralleling that, like sleep is super important. Like it's the foundation for the next one, but I would say it's probably a worse problem that in terms of magnitude of it and just how overlooked it can be is just the nutrition side. I mean, I had an athlete the other day that I was asking, something that I like to do with the guys that are I can't gain weight. It's like, okay, well, go hang out with somebody on my 800-pound life, and you could probably gain some weight. Like, just eat what they eat. I promise you'll put weight on, right? So it's like, that's not an actual real answer. So what is the answer? So it's like, write down your day of eating. Like, pick your best day, the day that you feel like you crushed it on eating. And dude, it was like bajillion carbs, a little bit of protein, and like a half a gram of fat. And I was like, well, that's why. Like, there you go. And not to call, like, not as a like, but it's just like, that's why, dude. Like, right. And so again, on the problem side, it's like educating them what that means. You talk about your kibble a lot. We should probably do like how to becoming ready to kibble. Like, but it's helping them and educating them. Like, no, if you want to, again, it's a life. Like, you want to throw 90 plus. You got to do the big three, and we got you on the throwing. We'll help you with throwing, but like, and even on the weightlifting side, but like the sleep and the food, like I can't put you in bed.
Right. Yeah.
Like I can't force feed you.
Yeah.
We can encourage you, but I would say the weightlifting side is like, the sleep is like, definitely more of a problem with weightlifting, and then nutrition is just bananas terrible, like super terrible.
And then under that, does sunlight come into play there?
I'll put that in like the recovery side of things.
Yeah.
Even like nutrition, like it's something your body needs.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely. And it goes in the sleep problem too get Alex on and talk about all that, but it's like, it affects 100%, like your lighting and so on and so forth, and absolutely.
Yeah, we got to get Alex on to talk about some of this stuff. He would be fired up to do that. And then I'll add one more, man. The kids need more time to be kids, man. They need more time to just go be a human being. We had very high-level athletes in here recently that I got to talking to. They play the game at the highest level, and there's nothing more to their personality than playing the game at the highest level. And I'm all for that. Play the game at the highest level. Be the best. Be great, because you are. Like, you're great, I'm great, these kids are great. They ought to express that greatness at its highest expression. But greatness is a holistic thing. It's a holistic thing. You're great in one area, that's fine. The game's going to end one day, and then who are you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who are you? And I think one thing that I'd just like to mention is a lot of programs, coaches are setting these kids up for failure because they're encouraging them to only be one-dimensional human beings. And they're not enjoying, like, nobody enjoys being one-dimensional. It's like, if all you did was this one thing for the rest of your life, you'd probably get frustrated at times because you're a curious human being. You want to explore other things. You also need a break at times. You want to have fun in other ways. You have other interests that you don't have time to explore. And sometimes that's how it has to be. Sometimes that's life, right? Sometimes you just have to tunnel vision on one thing because that's
what's required.
Right. But for these kids, especially the younger kids, man, it is not the time to focus all of their eggs in this baseball player basket all the time. I think, if you want to be a baseball player, it requires work, it requires sacrifice, it requires commitment, and these are life values and principles that ought to be instilled in these kids, sure. But if you're not enjoying it, why are you doing it?
Yeah.
If you're not building relationships off the field with your family members, who do you have to share all of this with whenever you become successful? You know what I mean? So that's something else I just wanted to mention, man, that I see a lot, and it bothers me. It bothers me to my core. I mean, you know me. I get fired up about that stuff.
Well, and I think it can enhance you being on the mound as well. Like, it helps the thing anyways. 100%. There's stuff, I said I had played golf yesterday, and how I practiced for an hour, and I played like 9 holes. How I designed my practice off of Reeves assessing, like, what do I need to work on in golf? It was a very strategic, like, I need to work on this. And I did that straight for 1 hour. Hit one club for an hour straight, working on one specific thing that I know that I need to, like, improve upon. And then I went and played, and it was, like, great. But it's, again, taking that principle of doing something different, that got my brain working on coaching in baseball. And there was things that I was doing with golf. I was like, wait a second, it's different, but that's a certain avenue, a way that I can actually do some stuff on the throwing side to, like, force the body to do, like, so on and so forth. And, like, even mental stuff a lot comes to mind, like when I'm working with pitchers on the mound, and, like, me playing golf and what works well to create a shot, and so on and so forth. So anyway, it helps the thing that you're wanting to do anyways. And I think with programming, like when I'm doing like a throwing calendar, it's pretty strict on Sundays is like not a baseball day. Like, I don't put mobility work in. I don't put, like, nothing. Like, dude, go walk on the beach if you want. Like, go take your shirt off. We live in Florida. Sun's probably out. Like, go get sunshine and, hit the reset button a little bit. And that way, when you come in on Monday and Tuesday, and then by Thursday and Friday, when the training week is getting hard, even for us running the business, like, you're ready to handle that, and then you can be thankful that you took Sunday to recover and kind of reset and zoom out and not be in it so much. And then when it is the end of the week again, it's like, okay, I have that also to look forward to as like a micro reward to, like, I'm also going to go hit golf balls or go to the beach or like whatever it is.
Well, and you're enthusiastic to show up.
Right.
Like you, after taking that day off yesterday, completely off for the most part, I would assume, right?
Yeah, I just like did some computer work stuff in the morning, and then
And then you show up today and you're like fired up to be here.
Yeah, I can't wait to coach. We have such a good group of guys, and like I'm probably gonna throw late. Like, it's like we're back.
Yeah.
And I just
Right. And I'll share this too. Last thing I'll share.
Yeah.
Is on that note that you brought up about taking time doing something else will actually make you better at the thing.
Yeah.
And you can talk into this too because you've been a part of this. I have not thrown a baseball at all since I stopped playing. Dude, and it's aside from men's league where I was playing catcher and we played 6 games and I didn't warm up before the game.
Bubba Veritek.
Yeah, right. yeah. So I haven't played baseball, I haven't trained for baseball, I haven't thrown a baseball, nothing. All I've been doing is DAC lifts. Brady, what's his last name? Volmering. His lifts, which are incredible and have changed my life, and kickboxing. That's all I've been doing. And I get on the mound, what was it, recently?
It was like a week ago.
Dude, and I pulled down 96 miles an hour, which is the hardest I've ever thrown.
And like that was
life.
a real, like he hit 95, like it was like a real, it wasn't a mystery. Like there was a slew of them that were 93 to 96.
Right. And then I get on the mound and what, I had 90, 80, 89?
89.
And I was sitting, what, 88?
Yeah.
I haven't thrown a baseball at all. That stuff, doing other things that I love to do, have made me better at this skill.
And you felt good after.
And I felt great.
Yeah.
And I feel great today. And we're going to go pitch against the Canadian Olympic team. Because you know what? Why the fuck not, dude? Why not?
Because we're prepared to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, and we're going to have fun doing it.
You're going to have so much fun.
So much fun. Because
well, and I'll say, sorry, I didn't mean
No, you're fine.
But it made me, and we can kind of leave it probably here.
Right.
But it's going back into my own personal playing experience. When I was playing, the most fun that I've ever had probably playing baseball was my last couple years in college, sophomore, junior in college. They were both awesome. And then this last year in indie ball, like when I finished up my playing career in summer. And I think both of those was because I was able to not just be, so like before games, my junior year in college, and like just speaking objectively, like I put up video game numbers my last year in college, I would go fish like all the time before my games in college. Like Friday night games or like Saturday, there was a pond, there's like a golf course like right across from UNO, and I'd like bring a rod and I would just mess around. There was like bass that were like that, it didn't matter, right? But it was such a way to like do something that's not sitting in the locker room like, oh my God, like we're playing Tulane tonight, and it's, you know what I mean? And like they got a numb first rounder, and it's just like, dude, you're gonna go like across the street here in like 5 hours, you're gonna go throw a baseball on the mound. you're good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, go do the thing.
But right now, you're catching this bass.
Right. Yeah. I caught you a delicious bass.
Yeah.
But then in indie ball, it's the same thing. It's like, all right, I didn't know that I was going to play baseball one more time, like competitively. And it's like, go enjoy it. If I throw 95 plus, maybe I get signed again. Probably not. I'm like pretty close to the ground to like get signed.
Yeah.
And it's like, go have fun. I'm gonna try and get as close with the teammates that I really want to get close with. Put on a little bit of like a coaching hat and help some of these guys that, with some of the data and stuff. And it was great. I literally couldn't have had, we weren't that good. Like, but I had the time of my life. It was great.
And didn't you hit 95?
Yeah, I had 95.
Right.
Yeah, right, because again, I was lifting, but it was fun. Like, I was so excited to go play. And again, I got there after a place where, I was in AAA, like eating innings, to be honest, like got a cup of coffee in AAA, but that was the highest level of baseball that I played, and it was the lowest that I ever felt emotionally. Because it was too much of me. It was too Reeves. Like, it was, I didn't have control, so on and so forth. Probably a podcast, whatever, conversation for a different time. Right, yeah, but anyway, long story long is you got to have fun doing it. And again, with indie ball, like, I threw really well, again, because it was like, I'm going to throw a baseball and, like, enjoy it, and then go, like, be an idiot on the bus and, like, put the golf tournament up on a TV in the back of the bus, like, and be good. Yeah. So anyway, I think it's something for the athletes too, is
and the parents
to reset. Absolutely.
And the parents.
It's a lifestyle, but it's also not a life forever.
No. Oh my God, there's way more to life than throwing a baseball.
Yeah.
Across a.
Yeah.
It's fine.
You're good.
You're
like,
fine.
and go enjoy it. It's so fun. We have so much fun doing it. Like, can't wait to probably rip an energy drink and like throw later. And if I hit 90, cool. And if I don't, it's okay. And it's, and I probably will because I don't care. Like,
Exactly. Care less.
Yeah.
And try less.
Yeah.
But try hard.
But also be locked in.
And be locked in.
But
don't care as much. But care a lot.
And we'll be here for 30 more minutes doing that. So, well, if you guys stay till the end of this, thank you.
Yeah.
We've really enjoyed, I mean, it's our second one, but we've really enjoyed doing these. I hope that you guys get value out of it. Tippy got a great nap in, so that was awesome.
Yep.
And if you guys have things that you would like for us to dive into, topics, conversation pieces, so on and so forth, or if you would like to be a guest and share your own experience or issues that you see or anything along those lines, feel free to message, me or Bub, and we'd love to have you on.
Yeah.
So,
or if you want to, if you have challenging questions that you'd like to address towards something we've said or brought up, if you don't agree with us, reach out to us, tell us why, and we can have you on, and we can totally have a civil conversation about our disagreements and exemplify what it means to not hate each other while we're disagreeing.
Yeah, because these, like, I have my beliefs, Bubba has his beliefs. If you're an audience, like, you watch this and you have your, like, we can all be right. Like,
totally.
Like, it's all good. So that would be awesome. I hope that kind of happens.
Yeah.
But,
I'll say this too. We invited a coach onto this podcast who challenged us in an Instagram post one time, and he said no. If you're that guy, we love you, but you're part of the problem.
Yeah, and if you have things that you believe to be true that disagree with what we believe to be true, let's honor the integrity of, for the athletes and the future of the game and just being a human being. I think something that I've heard, staying out of the politics side, but it's just a quote that I heard that I thought had a lot of truth no matter what, was something that actually Charlie Kirk said, where it was like, the minute that we stop having conversations, wherever you're at on the spectrum, the minute that society is going to start to have a downfall, you've got to have a conversation with somebody that you agree with, disagree with, and it's, it's healthy. Like, you should do that. So totally. Yeah, please, if you disagree with us, beautiful. Like, let's talk about it, because it would make us either one, be more firm in our beliefs, or maybe challenge you and change our beliefs. So it'd be helpful for everybody. So. And
iron sharpens iron. Yeah. Let's all get better together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
We're out.
That was great. Is the phone alive?
Yeah.